Hi guys, today I'm gonna tell you a story about my burnout that happened 4 years ago, why it happened, and my advice for everybody who goes through that and how you can stop it, hopefully. It's gonna be a long one, so grab a tea, coffee, beer, I don't know, you do you, and put in the background, I don't know, draw maybe while you're listening to all of this. So yeah. If you're new to my channel, I'm Darana. I'm concept artist and illustrator, and right now I work in mobile games. The year was 2017. I was very naive, very ambitious, very energetic. I already had a freelance gig after work, and my urge to freelance full-time was just increasing exponentially. Even though I already made money with my drawing, I had a day job at small mobile gaming company. But I wasn't happy in there because I didn't got so much to draw. So I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to freelance. I wanted to do book illustration or board game illustrations. So I went to HR and resigned. Just like that. Because I thought I can do that. And everybody was telling me, everybody who is not freelancing, you will have no problems being a freelancer. And I believed them. There was no reality check whatsoever. I knew that in Sweden it's very, very hard because in Sweden you have to pay 50% of your income in tax if you're a freelancer. But it didn't stop me. I was so hyped. I was so believing in myself. So I just went for it. I started to draw much more. I did Scully July, Inktober without taking breaks. I went on my first Comic-Con. So I was just working way too much. And Comic-Con was intense. It actually hit me in the head a little bit. I still have problems distinguishing people's faces. I don't know what happened, but yeah. But I didn't care. I just being productive and working was the only thing on my mind. I think the reason why I worked so much is because I was very unhappy. My private life at the time was in shambles. I had a family. I had a 5-year-old daughter. I had a teenager sister living with me. So basically I had 2 kids. And I had a husband, now ex-husband, with whom I had very bad relationship, very abusive relationships. But I didn't want to face it. I ignored it. I decided that reason for my unhappiness was the fact that I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't working enough. I wasn't producing enough. So yeah, I started work more, and my whole family situation was just got worse and worse. While I was working so much and ignoring my mental health, I also had super toxic mentality about productivity and about myself in general. I thought that if I could work 20 hours over the weekend, that means I can do it every day for my whole life. I also thought that if some random person from the internet is very productive, that means that I can be too, because I'm also a person, right? That means I can do all the same things that any can do, right? I also thought that if I can't focus 100% laser straight as soon as I get to my desk, that means I'm weak. If I can't produce an artwork every day, all the time, without breaks, that means that I'm weak and I'm a bad person and I'm a bad artist. I didn't thought like that about all my friends or other people, but for just myself, I had this mentality. I even had a Google sheet where I put amount of hours that I was my working day, and then amount of hours that I was deep working, where I was focusing. Every time, and I had several timers, and every time I would take a break in the lunch or coffee or just go to the toilet, I would stop the timer, and then in the end of the day I would calculate how productive I was. And if my productivity level was below 75%, I was super angry at myself. I hated myself. I called myself a failure, a lazy ass. So I was beating myself up every day for not being perfect and not doing enough. I was super overwhelmed because I also tried to do everything at once. You know, when I started I thought, oh, I have to grow my Instagram account. I have to do a print shop. I have to do a website. I have to find all these new clients. And then I have to do YouTube channel. And this and that and everything. I couldn't prioritize any of this. So I just started to, it was insane. But I kept pushing. I kept being angry at myself. I kept calling myself names. Not fun. So you probably can see that it couldn't go well, and it didn't. It took me 6 months to burn out, to crash completely. It didn't happen in one day. I just, with time, I got more and more tired, more and more unhappy, more and more exhausted. In winter of 2018, I cancelled all of my potential clients. I somehow finished or cancelled all of the assignments I had, and I was just done. I was lying on the couch and just staring at the ceiling and not feeling anything, not wanting anything. I was completely empty, and I was like that for several weeks. And during all of that, my fights with my ex got worse and worse, and we divorced. It took me a lot of time to get over all of this. The divorce is a very traumatic experience. Even if it's something that you decide and you want to do, it's very hard to get over. I got a day job again. I had to pay my bills. And for several years, I had no energy to do anything outside of my job. I barely had energy to do job. I was much more exhausted just in general. Sometimes I got these glimpses of hope where I felt, oh, maybe I can do this project. Oh, maybe I'm back. Maybe I got this back. But then if I would do something after work or something extra, then I would understand that, nope, I still can't do it. Actually, this year, it's the first time when I feel normal again. But I have to do it very, very cautiously. And after my experience with burnout, I actually learned a lot. I learned that life is not consistent. That life is made of seasons and periods. That if somebody else can do something, that doesn't mean that you can. If you can't focus for more than 4 hours a day, that's normal. I learned that breaks are very important, and that doing nothing is actually important and useful. And you would say, but come on, that's common knowledge. And I kinda knew all of this. I was telling all of this advice to my friends when I saw that they were working too much. But somehow deeply inside of me, I thought that I have to do more. I have to work all the time. I have to produce. I have to be this robotic, laser-focused person. I have to work at least 10 hours a day. If I couldn't, then I was a weakly lazy ass. That was my mentality deep down. I felt guilty every time when I played games or did nothing or went on a walk. I thought that I should be working. I should produce something. I should put something out there. I'm an artist. I have to create all the time. Now I know that's not true. And I learned it very hard way. Right now I in this very high energy state again, but I'm much more mindful about my energy levels. My mental health is my priority. I do physical exercise, walks, meditation, and it's super mega important for me. I would never put extra work if it's gonna make me miss these rituals, because I know if I can't spend 2 hours on taking care of my mental health, then I'm gonna crash, and then I'm gonna spend the next 4 or 5 years just recovering from that. If you feel like you resonate with my story, that you are feeling exhausted and tired, and you're doing way too much, and you have this same toxic mentality about productivity and being productive and pushing stuff out, please stop. Take a break. Try to understand that recovery is as important as producing stuff. Because if you can't recover, you can't produce. So if you push yourself to the point where you crash, it's going to take you several years. And some people never recover from the burnout. And it's not just impact on your mental health or on your energy level. It can impact your physical health. Try to understand, why are you working so much? Why are you pushing yourself so much? Do you feel worthless if you're not producing anything? Because that's how I felt. If you do, why? Where is it coming from? Try to see if it's something else. Maybe you're working because you're trying to run away from something. I'm pretty sure that all of these people who are putting out so much, they're deeply unhappy, or they're very good at recovering. That's why they can put out so much. But working all the time is never healthy. If you're on the edge of burning out, stop. Take a break, please. And consider talking with a mental health professional. Because sometimes we can't get out of this ourselves. Sometimes we need help. I really hope that my story was useful for you, that you could resonate. Maybe it's gonna help you to stop now, before it's too late, before you're completely crashed. Or it's gonna be as warning for you to not push yourself as much, as far as I did. Because I wouldn't wish that to anyone. Don't hesitate to write me on Instagram or here on YouTube if you want. I hope that was helpful, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.